So we really don't have that much longer left until the end of the year. So here are my 10 before the end. These are the 10 books I would like to prioritize reading before the year ends. So I'm just gonna go down the stack in front of me. Now these are a mix of some new releases, some books that have been on my TBR for the longest time, and some books that were on my original 12 books I wanted to read this year. I really didn't do that well with that TBR challenge specifically because I've had a very weird reading year and have been reading a lot slower, but I'm hoping to kind of pick it up in the last few months of the year. So these are the books I'm going to be prioritizing and focusing on. So the first book I'm going to be talking about is one that has been on my TBR for literal years now. I think this is the book that has been on my TBR the longest, besides maybe some classics, but that is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This is a historical fiction. This book starts off in Yongdo in Korea in 1911, and in this we follow a club-footed, cleft-lipped man who marries a 15-year-old girl, and in this we follow their daughter, and we follow her once she is kind of growing up and finding her way in life, and she ends up falling pregnant by a married Yakuza man, and the family is kind of facing ruin. To kind of save her face and to save her family, a Christian minister offers her a chance of salvation, which is a new life in Japan if she goes with him. So we kind of follow her as she goes to Japan and everything that happens then. It sounds really interesting, and I know this is meant to be quite a sad book, I believe. It's also got a TV show that I've been wanting to watch forever, but I wanted to read the book first, so I'd really like to read it. I'm also going to Korea this year, so I think it would be an interesting read based on everything that has to do with Korea and Japan, but we'll see. When I get to this, I'm hoping I can really try and get to this before the end of the year. This might be a November or a December book. Sticking with historical fiction, we have got The Reformatory by Tanana Reeves-Ju. This is a historical horror, like I said. This is set in Jim Crow, Florida in 1950. And in this we follow a young boy who is sent to the Gracetown School for Boys after a scuffle with a white boy. And it's kind of looking at the segregated horrors that have happened there and the place that is haunted by the boys that have died on its grounds. And I don't know too much more than that. I know a lot of people that absolutely love this book. It is a bit on the longer side for a horror, which I do struggle with longer horror books, but I'm intrigued to see how this goes because I have heard it's really good and pretty fast paced still and is pretty easy to get into. It's obviously going to be a very horrifying and heavy and hard read just given the topic that it deals with, but I am very intrigued and would love to get to this as soon as I can. On a kind of similar note, I guess, to do with topics, we have got Parable of the Sawa by Octavia E. Butler. This is the first book in this duology. I don't remember what it's called, but this is a dystopian sort of sci-fi. It's set in a futuristic version of America and kind of looks at the horrors and the things that have happened there and all the changes. I know this is very like kind of timely and topical as well, especially since this book was written so long ago now, but this is something I've been wanting to read forever and I'm going to be getting to it before the end of the year. I think this is one I will save for November or December and try and get the sequel for Christmas so then I can read them back to back. Next up, we've got just some fantasy. I've got 3 different books here. All of them are part of series, but I don't think I'm going to be continuing with all of these series. The first one is Daughter of the Moon Goddess. This is by Su Lin Tan. This is actually a book my partner got me for Christmas quite a while ago now and has been something I've been really wanting to read. I've been very much obsessed with the Apothecary Diaries recently, and I did see a video of someone saying that you should read this if you like the Apothecary Diaries, so I'm hopefully going to be getting to this one soon. It's a bit long and I'm a bit intimidated by it, but I am excited. This is the one out of the stack where I'm not going to be continuing the series because I've heard bad things about book 2, so I'm probably just going to leave it as is. But I don't really know too much about what this is. I know this is a Chinese mythology inspired fantasy and set in like a Chinese inspired world, and I just know there's a bit of a romance in it as well. I kind of want to go into this one a bit more blind, so I'm going to leave it at that. It's also got the most breathtaking and stunning cover. Next, I've got City of Brass. This is by S.A. Chakraborty or Shannon Chakraborty. This is the author of The Adventures of Mina El Sarafi, which I absolutely loved. And I've had so many people tell me I would love this series, so I'm going to be starting the David Bad trilogy before the end of the year. I believe this I can also get for free on my Kindle, so I might sign up to that and download it so I can read it while I'm away in October, because I think that would be the perfect time. But I believe this is kind of like a steampunk kind of inspired Cairo, and there are thieves and magic and tricksters and all sorts of things that happen in this area. Yeah, our main character in this, she's always been wanting to leave Cairo and something happens where she gets given that chance, but she has to be careful what she wishes for. I'm not too sure beyond that, I think it might have to do with Jin as well, like genies, so I'm very intrigued by this. I've heard just incredible things about this trilogy, so I'm really hoping I can get to it soon. I would like to at the very least start this trilogy before the end of the year and maybe go into finishing it in the new year, but we'll see. I've been very bad with series this year. Now, the reason I have been bad with series this year is because I've been reading through The Realm of the Elderlings. They're the only trilogies and series that I've finished this year, I'm pretty sure. So continuing with that, I would like to be reading The Fool's Errand. I'd like to actually finish this whole trilogy by the end of the year. I think this is definitely something I can accomplish. So I'm going to be starting this one very soon. This is for my Farseer Readers book club. So if you would like to join us in reading this trilogy, this is our October book. Book 2 will be our November book, and the third and final book will be our December book, and then we will move on to the Rain Wilds quartet in January. But I'm very excited about this one. In this, we follow an older Fitz as he's tasked to go on a mission to save this prince by the Fool, and we kind of have to navigate through this journey to find this prince and return him, but maybe he doesn't want to be found, and that's kind of all I know about this. I'm just so happy to be back with the Fitz and the Fool because I love those characters so much. I did really enjoy the live ship traders, but I'm just excited to be with these characters again just because Fitz has my whole heart after everything that we went through with him in the Farseer trilogy. So I'm very intrigued and excited to read this. I did actually end up reading the first 2 pages the other day when I finished Ship of Destiny just because I really wanted answers about what's happening and to see where this book kind of goes. So I'm excited to get to this. I know I will definitely be reading this and finishing this trilogy before the end of the year. Also, I lied before. I said those were the only series, but I've got 2 other series here. The first one is actually a duology, and it is the second book in a duology, and that is He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan. This is book 2 in the Radiant Emperor duology. This follows She Who Became the Sun. This is something I started quite a few months ago now. I'm almost 100 pages in, just shy of 100 pages. I really just need to buckle down and finish this because I've been putting it off for so long. I don't know what it is about these books, but I've kind of always struggled with them. Like She Who Became the Sun was a really good read, but it was just something that I did struggle with getting into quite a book, and I found had a similar kind of challenge with this book. I have been listening to the audiobook, so I think I'm gonna actually sit down and tandem read it over the next few months. Even if I just take it really slow, I would love to get this done because this world is so immense and I really just want answers on it, but this might have to be one that I restart it or maybe even potentially reread She Who Became the Sun and then delve into this straight away because I feel like I still am a bit lost on what is going on, but I will finish this year. I really need to. If I don't finish it, I think I don't know. I just need to get around to finishing this. Next is a series that I've been wanting to start forever. I was putting it off because it was getting republished and we were getting the new versions of it. And I do actually need to start it now since those new versions are out and we've had a new book come out. And that is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. This is book 1 in the series. This is I think it's a dystopian technically. It's set in a futuristic version of London of London, and we've got people that have got kind of clairvoyant powers that are kind of frowned upon, and our main character is a clairvoyant, and that's, to be honest, all I really know about it. I think I'll need to reread the blurb going into this, but I'm very excited to get to this. I know so many people absolutely love it, and I've adored The Roots of Chaos cycle by Samantha Shannon, so I would love to read something else that's not set in that world. So I will be starting this before the end of the year. I have a feeling this could end up being one of my last reads of the year, and maybe I'll see if I can get book 2 and 3 as Christmas presents because I have the original versions of the first 4 books, but obviously things have been changed and edited, so I would like to get the new redone editions just because I think that would make a lot more sense if she's made changes and the rest of the books are going to kind of follow to these changes. So I'm intrigued. I'm definitely going to be trying to get to this one as soon as I can, but we'll see how we go. Okay, the last 2 books I have to talk about are new releases. The first one is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I've been a bit uncertain on this book. I've just been struggling a bit with reading confusing things, and I have heard that this can be a bit academic and confusing, and I just really need my brain to be switched on when I get to this. So this is something I've been kind of holding on to for the perfect moment, and I will definitely be reading it before the end of the year. I'm hoping that after my holiday, I'll be well rested to a degree, or at least less mentally drained and tired than I have been at work, or I do have a decent amount of time off over Christmas, so that this might even be a book that I save for that time period. But this is a dark academia, and in this we follow 2 characters who are kind of going through the 6 layers of hell, and that's all I really know, and that R.F. Kuang is kind of comparing academia and this university to hell. But that's kind of it. I don't really know too much more, but I'm very excited to get to this. I think this is just such a pretty edition as well. It's got really pretty stenciled edges, but I'm definitely going to be getting to this before the end of the year. Okay, the final book is actually the newest one on this TBR, and I'm putting it on this TBR for a reason, because I would like to get better at reading books as I buy them, because otherwise my TBR just stacks up. If I'm going to buy it, I need to read it straight away, or I need to read 2 more books to kind of make up that space is what I'm trying to do. But this one is The Last Tiger. This is by Julia and Brad Ray. I don't know how to say their last name, but I'll have to check in on it. But this is a book I've been seeing all over Instagram because I follow the author and I've been seeing her talk about it. But she and her brother basically wrote this together, and it is inspired by their grandparents' lives during one of the darkest points in Korean history. And I'm very excited for this. It's got a really beautiful cover and like these gorgeous stenciled edges as well, and I'm just really excited for this. But this is set in a colonized land where tigers are being hunted to extinction and ancient magic stirs. 2 star-crossed teens from opposite worlds, Lee Sung, a servant yearning for freedom, and Choi Unji, a noble girl defying tradition, join forces to try to reshape their respective fates. And I guess we kind of follow them. It sounds really interesting. When I spoke about pachinko earlier as well, I mentioned the Japanese occupation of Korea, which seems like this is obviously going to have very similar themes and deal with very similar topics, seeing as Japan is basically the reason Korea doesn't have tigers. So I'm very intrigued to read this one, and it just looks stunning, and I've been really loving historical fiction and like historical dramas lately, so I feel like this will be the perfect time for me to pick this book up as well. And yeah, I'm just very excited to get to this one. But these are my 10 books that I would like to read before the end of the year. When they're kind of all in front of me like this, I am a bit intimidated and nervous, but I think if I spread them out, I can do it. There is only 3 months left in the year, so I think if I can kind of spread these out between 3 and 4 books a month, I should be able to do it, but we'll see how we go. But let me know what your 10 before the end is, or one book that you really just want to read before the end of the year. But that is it for this week's video. I will see you guys all next time, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.